Hey, it's Luke with Salt Strong. In this video, we're going to be doing a lure test. We have 2 shrimp lures. Otis is the moderator. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do 3 casts. I'm testing old school versus new school. Over here, we have the DOA shrimp, right? Classic shrimp lure, been around forever. And then over here next to it, we have the Power Prawn U.S.A. Junior. This is a new shrimp lure. Both of these are 3.5 inches. They're very similar colors, as close as I could get. Same rods, same reels, same lines, everything's equal, and we're gonna go out there and just do cast after cast, see how it does. We're gonna be targeting docks today. We're having a late start, sun's already up, but the dock fishing should still be pretty good. That's my go-to on clear days like this. So we're gonna see how these do. We'll report to you the results, and Otis hopefully will stay out of trouble this time. See you soon. All right, dock number 1. Let's get this started. We're gonna start with the DOA shrimp. We have the other one right here, ready for action. Have some docks. Now we are gonna see if we can find some fish. I fished here once before, but it's been a good while. And so after the 3rd cast with the DOA shrimp, reel it up, secure it to the rod, and that way I can grab the other rod and start using that one for 3 casts. So I was doing 3 cast switch, 3 cast switch, 3 cast switch, and continued down the shoreline using that strategy. So this was 9 minutes after the first cast. Otis was starting to get a little bored. You could hear him get a little whine in, but this was the first fish of the day. So again, just skipping under the docks, skip it underneath there, let it sink, and then just do a slow retrieve out, and then eventually getting some strikes. There we are, got something. See what we have here. It's like a little mangrove snapper. So first fish on the board. Hey Otis, easy, easy. First fish on the board, a little snapper on the Power Prawn U.S.A. Easy Otis, not for you, but you can smell it. There you are, good boy. So this was an hour into the trip. It was a slow bite at this first spot, and I was doing the same thing, skipping under the dock, retrieving it out. This was the Power Prawn U.S.A. again. Thought it was a good fish at first, and then right around here is when I saw what it was, and it was a catfish. All right, we're off to spot number 2. This first round of docks really wasn't as good as hoped. There really wasn't a lot of life. Didn't see many mullet or many bait fish. Not a single feeding bird. And so off to another one. We at least caught a snapper. We had a good strike that I believe was a snook, and then caught a catfish. But we will continue on. The day is early, and we'll see how it goes. So for spot number 2, I chose an area that has a little bit more wind exposure. As you can see from the chop on the water, the fish were proven to be very finicky. I had a couple short strikes at spot number 1, and so having this wind activity can help mask presence of danger as far as them feeling the boat, especially with Otis, who is pretty loud out there. So here was a snook on the DOA. I was skipping the DOA shrimp up under the mangroves. The snook hit on the drop. So really my first twitch, the snook was on. And so now first snook of the day caught on the DOA shrimp. Whoa, look at these nurse sharks. Oh my gosh, these are giant nurse sharks up in super shallow water. I don't think I've ever seen that before in Tampa Bay. Beast. What do you think, Otis? Don't fall in now, buddy. There's a snook right there on the surface. Let's see if we can get him. Oh, looking at it. Oh, denied. So that was the first denial of the trip, in which I saw the fish, presented a lure to it, and then watched it deny the offering. That one was with the DOA shrimp. Here was chance number 2, where I saw a redfish. It was at the tip of the arrow. You can barely see it. It's swimming away in the direction of the arrow. And here you can see I get a nice cast. Redfish right there. And you can actually see the redfish come up to the lure, and finally got one to eat. Oh, got him. Oh man, I had him. Let's see if he eats it again. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Watched him eat it. Power Prawn Junior. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. That was a nice red. This was about 5 minutes later, again, just skipping lures up under mangroves. I was basically just targeting every little nook and cranny that I could. And if you do this enough, fishing mangroves, you're gonna be able to get some fish. There we are, got him. Little snook just thumped it out of there. Hit up in that little cove right there. High percentage shot. This is what I have to put up with. All right, there's a little snook. It's a little fella, but we'll take it. A thump near the trees is always a good time. So that was the Power Prawn USA. In this case, it's the DOA. So this was shortly after. Get that DOA right next to the trees and fish on. There we are. There we are. There's a redfish. Got right up under those trees. They're holding up under the bushes right now. This is on the DOA. Alright, little fella, DOA shrimp. So here are the next few casts in slow-mo so you can see the types of areas targeted. So there's a cove, here's a point, and let the wind carry the line around so you can retrieve right along the point. Great strategy. And then here's another cove where I just punched a lure up underneath there. And after 3 casts, switch lures and do it all over again. Really a fun way to test out lures. I think it's the most fair way to do it. And so I kept doing that. And then up here coming next is the next shot at a sight fish red. Oh, there's a fish. Let's see if we can get him to eat. Oh, he did not like it. Denied. So that fish turned me down, and just 2 casts later had another shot. There was a redfish holding under this mangrove. I could see it down there. Got a nice cast to it. Oh, denied again. Dang. All right, that's 3 that I missed with the DOA. So I kept up the same strategy, again, just covering the shade as much as possible. This was a hot summer day. The fish are lethargic. You really have to get a good looking lure right in front of their face. And even then, it can be tough. Like days like this, usually doing this type of fishing, you catch a lot more than that, but at least got some action. And so time to head back for lunch. And here is the post-trip analysis. So now for the findings of using these 2 lures. And number 1, they both caught fish. So it's not really a surprise. They're both similar shape. They're both the same length. They're very similar colors. They're rigged to have similar depth coverage. So it's not a surprise that just skipping these lures up under mangroves both resulted in some fish catching. The biggest difference that I found between the 2 is the fact that with this DOA shrimp, all of my strikes happened on the initial fall. So I would skip it up into the trees, and then the strike would happen on its first descent down to the bottom. And so the snook and the redfish both hit during that time, and I missed a couple others as well. And so again, seemed like the fall was the ticket for the shrimp lure. I had this in my hand for most of the situations in which I actually saw a fish that was just cruising off the trees. And in all those cases, when I was retrieving the lure towards the fish, they didn't seem to like it quite as much. And conversely, this Power Prawn USA Junior seemed to do better during the retrieve. So pretty much all the fish that I had on this lure were during the retrieve, where I would twitch it and then it would slowly go back down to the bottom. It would glide back down to the bottom, and that's when the strikes happen. And so really cool to see that. The one time I actually had a shot at the redfish when I had this in my hand and I saw the redfish, got a cast to it and it hit. So I was 100% on sight fishing with this thing. But most importantly, again, the biggest difference was that this seems better for just doing a sink or a drift with current with very little retrieve action. This seems to do best. And then this Power Prawn USA Junior seemed to perform best actually covering water and retrieving the lure through the water. So that's really the biggest findings that I noticed from this first trip. As I mentioned before, it was just one morning of fishing. It wasn't even that good of a bite, and so I can't say anything super conclusive, but just wanted to share my findings. And if you've used these lures and you have anything to share, please let us know down below. This is really to start a conversation. I'll be testing these lures again so we can get some more data and actually have some actual data to go through. But just wanted to post this report as a fun trip, even though it was tough. We still caught some fish, and so I thought I'd go ahead and at least start the conversation. So if you would like me to test out any other lures, leave a comment down below. I really enjoy these lure tests. It's actually more fun than just fishing because it's just interesting to see the results. So leave lure test recommendations down below. And for you Insider Club members, you can scroll down below and you can see the post-trip analysis in which I get on Google Maps and I show exactly where these fish were caught and what the wind was doing, what the current was doing. So you can look for the same types of spots in your area the next time you go fish and get into some fish catching fun. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for your time and watching. Hope to see you again soon.